Just a second. I'll be right back. 1 minute. So, reading books can sometimes be really boring. I don't know whether you have experienced this. Sometimes reading can really be boring. You may not know where to begin, how to begin. And you know that reading books is not just for developing your language skills. Maybe you want to get some information and update also. But you may not know from where to begin. There was a time when I used to doze off on the book, reading. So you may wonder, you keep speaking about reading, you're an author, and how can you say that reading books can really be boring, right? So I'm sitting outdoors. You may get to hear people speaking, cooking, but I know that the audio is fine and clear. So you may be also wondering, I have some books here. Can you see? So I would like to recommend some books because you may really want to begin reading, but you don't know how to begin and from where to begin. Is it? So if you're struggling in that way, these books are exclusively for the beginners. Now, when I say that something is for the beginners, it doesn't mean that it is for children also. No, the themes are definitely for adults because it's all about loss, relationship, and so many other aspects and elements of life with broader themes, Of course, children can read it. I'm not saying they cannot read it, but it's specifically for adults above 18 years. And one more thing is, it is expressed in simple language. That's common to all three books. Some of you already would have read it. It's okay if you've already read it because I keep referring to the books that I really love. So I would like to add that all these books are not thick. Okay? Sometimes you may feel that the books are thick. When you keep counting the number of pages, you may feel demotivated. And these books are for those who really want to begin reading or even who really want to read something light but interesting. Getting what I'm saying? So this is hardly 200 pages, 182 pages. It's not about how fast you read. It's about how you enjoy the book. I read this in 1.5 months because I was into reading and I really wanted to explore more themes by the Korean writers, by the Japanese writers and all these people. There are a lot of other writers also. You may enjoy other people, but I pick up those books that are convincing to me. So I don't promote any book until and unless I read it. So I experience a book and then only I recommend because I'm not doing any promotion work. I'm not going to give you book summary and all that, but just suggestions. So I'll tag these books. You can purchase them on Amazon, Flipkart, or even some other stores, online stores where they give you 3 books in a row as a bundle. Okay, so the significance of these books is that it is in simple language. But if you ask me, ma'am, only simple words, I want to learn something. Of course, you can learn at least 3 or 4 words in every chapter. So if you go back to the other videos, you will see how to read. I've given guidelines on how to read, how to remember words, how to exactly put yourself in a position where you can recollect, observe life, and then use those words in your conversation. And books are not just for people who love language or who are language learners, right? And if you have decided to work on any language, not just English, you can definitely read because that helps with focus, concentration, and fluency. There was a time when I did not like reading. Seriously, there was a time when I did not like reading where I really used to feel that these words are boring, the books are boring, there are no pictures. And sometimes I used to choose purposely the books that had pictures, at least some kind of doodling, the black and white pictures also. But then I realized it's not about the pictures, it's about the content, the story, and the beautiful way of how you recreate the image in your mind, visualize, all these things are there. So you know the benefits of reading because I've already done videos on the benefits. So I'm so happy that you enjoy all the other content. My name is Renee Rose Matthew. I am a tutor and also I take one-to-one training sessions. Let's begin with the books. I just have 3 books and as I mentioned in the beginning, these books are for everybody. Anybody can read it, but specifically they cover themes of loss, relationship. So the first one is, you know that there are more books in this series. You would have already read it. Yeah, some of you would have already read, so you can comment. I read Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I don't know how to pronounce the name of this author, but Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I'm not sure if you know Japanese, you can help me pronounce this name. But it's a beautiful read. It's about time, going back in time, also thinking about the future. Generally, we have seen movies where we go back in time. I mean, at least I have seen such movies where I go back in time, where I go back in time and experience those times and that particular zone with the author, with the character. But here they think about the future. So basically, there are four plots. One is about a couple, husband and wife. Another is about lovers. I think the third one is about sisters. Last one is about a mother and a child. Each plot is different. So you may think it's only about love and relationship. No, it's also about loss. I just mentioned two plots basically. So one is about a girl who really wants to confess her love to the guy. She actually likes somebody. He decides to go abroad for his higher education. But this girl realizes that she really likes him. She's fallen in love with him and almost forgets to confess it to him. All the stories take place in a cafe. And this cafe is mysterious, intriguing. There is also a woman in white who always sips coffee. So when I say coffee, it's not just about the ones that we experience here. You would have experienced the bitter coffee, the original ones from the beans, the coffee beans. We get it here also. But many of us have the branded ones, Nescafe or such kind of things, instant coffee. But otherwise, if you go for the decoction ones, the ones prepared from beans, the original beans, it'll be slightly bitter. So there is a type of coffee that's mentioned here. I don't exactly remember the name, I'm sorry. So there they sip this coffee, they have it, and it has got different levels of intensity, the flavor. So she wants to confess the love, but he's gone. They meet in this cafe, this particular cafe. They have a cup of coffee, but then she really wants to confess the love, but she's not able to do it. And then she asks the owner, can I go back in time? So this particular cafe is mysterious. It is intriguing. Yes, I get to hear a scream in the background. Okay, so it's a small child crying somewhere in the neighborhood. So it's all about mysterious, intriguing. I'm not speaking about ghosts and such kind of thing, but you have intriguing elements and themes. And then she goes back, you can find out what happens. And then there's also another interesting topic where you have the story of sisters. The younger sister comes all the way to Tokyo, I think so Tokyo, to meet her elder sister. The elder sister ran away from the house, leaving her family, came all the way to this particular place where we have the main setting. She comes here, she owns a bar, a kind of bar cafe. But then what happens is that she avoids her younger sister who comes all the way to just meet her. She takes the trouble to come all the way from the native place to this place. I think it is Tokyo, I'm not sure, just to meet her elder sister. But the elder sister avoids, runs away, and she says, my younger sister is coming. I just don't want to meet her. Okay, can you please tell some excuse? Can you say that I'm not here? Such kind of ways by which a person avoids the gaze and the presence of another person. One day, she does the same thing. And the younger sister understands. She says to the owner, can you just leave a letter for my sister? When she comes back, she can read it. You know what happens at that point? She leaves a letter. She goes back. On the way, she meets with an accident. And of course, she leaves this world. It becomes so touching. And then the elder sister realizes so many things. The family members also understand. They comprehend at that point why the elder sister left the family. You know, sometimes you may have people at home, you may have friends also who may not communicate what they're going through, the turmoil and the anguish. So here they understand what she was going through and why she left the family. And then there is, of course, they unite, they come together as a family. That happens later. Then you have the story of a mother and a child. That's very beautiful. I think she goes to the future. And then you have the story of a couple also, where there is this problem. The husband loses memory. The wife is there, and then there comes a point where the story becomes so touching. You also feel empathetic. I'm not trying to say that you'll start crying the minute you read the story, but It is a concrete way of putting all these themes together through different plots. And that is why the author keeps you hooked to the book. It's an unputdownable book in that way. I hope you enjoy it, primarily because the language is that simple. You can easily digest. You will get at least 4 words in every chapter. Okay, the next one is, now there is a question that many people ask me, between I'll tell you, ma'am, should I buy a book? Shall I read from my mobile phone or tab? It's okay, but when your body, when your eyes go through the strain, you will definitely put away the book or whatever you're reading. So your body will give you signals. Hey, your eyes are tired. This is boring. Already you are taking all the effort to sit and read something. Suppose you haven't got into the habit of reading. So don't give strain to your eyes. It's always better to go for books, or otherwise you can go for Kindle. This is my Kindle. I just read this book. I'll show you the book that I read. Mother Mary Comes to Me by Arundhati Roy. It's a beautiful book. So I finished reading this book. I couldn't get an original copy because my budget did not allow me. So I got one here on my Kindle device and I read it. So you can read, you can see it here. One thing is, it's always a pleasure to smell the book, to flip the pages, to turn the pages over and read. The next one is this one. I've heard many people speaking about this. Days at the Morisaki Bookshop. I don't know how to actually pronounce this, but definitely you can read. It's simple. And here you have a person, the main character, the protagonist. She doesn't like her uncle, but she actually unites with her uncle later. And there is a cause. You have a cafe here also. You have a coffee shop everywhere, reading corners and everything. And most of the things happen around this bookshop. You have a bookshop here also. Okay, but I'll come to that. So there is a bookshop run by the uncle, and then how she begins reading. So you have a character here just like all of us who doesn't like to read. She hates reading, but then she slowly explores the theme and the problems faced, everything through books, and the kind of bliss she experiences when she reads books, because you get to go through the perspectives and the world of other people. I'm not speaking about fiction. I'm actually speaking about the real stories, inspired stories, and also something that's taken from real life. Everything can't be fantasy. Even fantasy and fiction has got some points from the real world, but exaggerated. Exaggerated elements are there. Okay, then comes Almond. You would have heard of this. I don't know how to pronounce again the name. It's Wong Pyung Zong. It's a novel. This is a beautiful read, and it's really touching because you have a boy who's not able to experience emotions. Have you ever thought in your life, I wish I could go emotionless? Was there a point in your life where you really didn't want to even know about fear, anxiety, nervousness? Sometimes when we attend an interview, just before that, you may feel, oh my God, I just wish that I couldn't express or even experience fear. Have you ever thought that way? So here is a boy who's unable to express and even comprehend emotion, not only fear. He's not able to empathize, sympathize. This particular condition, alexithymia, is dangerous. Sometimes we wish to go emotionless, but this is actually dangerous for Yunjae. The name of the boy is Yunjae, Yunjae. He goes through this difficult phase. He's not able to express himself, especially when he gets punched. He's bullied by Gon. And Gon is so surprised because usually children run away. They feel threatened when Gon enters the corridor. But, Yunjae is not able to feel anything. He's not able to express fear. He just stands there. And with time, Gon understands that something is wrong with Yunjae. Initially, he thinks that he's trying to outsmart him, but that's not the reality. So different people go through different problems in life. I didn't know about such a state, such a condition till I read this book. It's quite touching, but there are some humorous parts also where we introspect, where we get to think about our emotions and the way we display them, way we regulate them. Sometimes we don't even care to balance. Social media is a place where people don't know how to regulate and balance their emotions sometimes. But there are a lot of beautiful channels and pages, Instagram pages and Facebook pages that really speak about this. So it's important to address this. And it's a story where with time he slowly develops his capacity and ability to feel with others, to empathize, at least sympathize in one way, understand the meaning of happiness. And there is a point in the beginning of the story, his grandmother and mother get shot, gets killed by a person randomly. They don't do anything. They just go to the bakery just to buy something, and to have some fun in the evening, and then they are killed just like that in the street. But he's not able to understand the emotion, he's not able to experience anything. His mother doesn't die actually, she's in a coma stage. Okay, but the granny passes away. The granny is no more, and he misses his grandmother terribly, but he's not able to express that feeling. And the mother is in a coma stage. They are looked after by a doctor called Shrim. But still, towards the end of the story, something happens, and it is a beautiful ending. But he goes through those stages. Doctors say that you have an almond-shaped part in your brain. It keeps developing. And with time, they will also come out of this situation. The external world also play an important role, where you help the person to come out of this state. And I hope you enjoyed all the 3 books I've tagged it, and it's really important to read. When you keep focusing on accent and some things that are not actually relevant before working on your sentence structure, it gives a notion that you're not doing work. You should actually work on your basics and simultaneously on the other factors. Can you communicate something effectively? That is the point where you express your thought flow without any hindrance. So don't worry, and definitely you'll be able to do better. Happy learning.